Former TV3 journalist David Farrier has lived in LA for 4 years and has been covering the immigration crackdown and protests for his newsletter Webworm. Yesterday, he was amongst protesters outside the Metropolitan Detention Centre when the National Guard moved in. I began by asking him how it all unfolded.
Yeah, it was a pretty surreal thing. So we heard yesterday that the National Guard had arrived in town. So I went down to the Metropolitan Detention Centre, which is where a lot of people are being housed that have been arrested by ICE. And when I got there immediately, the National Guard were there, probably a crowd of about 50 at around 10:30 a.m. But then by 1 p.m., the crowd had really risen. There were a lot of people outside. And there was a moment when a fleet of ICE SUVs came in and a series of armoured trucks to enter the facility, and the crowd was sort of in the way. And that's when the National Guard really went and leapt into action and fired the tear gas canisters, pushed back, used their rubber bullets. And yeah, I inhaled a big pile of tear gas, and it's you shut down, you can't breathe, you can't see. It's like a wall that hits you, and it hit the crowd, and it happened very quickly. It's scary. Suddenly everyone's running, everyone's concerned. Up until then, it had been a completely non-violent morning, and then suddenly, just like that, it all changed.
So what is the mood like in LA today, now that we know that President Trump has escalated this further by sending in Marines? And I wonder if there is any support for what he's doing.
Look, here in Los Angeles, I mean, this is an incredibly liberal state that we're in. There's very little support. It's more shock from every agency about what is going on. I mean, the state doesn't want the National Guard here. You know, Marines have been sent in today to support things before more National Guard members get here. And generally, you know, from the governor down, they're not wanted because they're not needed. You know, that's the thing. There were no violent protests. Things weren't crazy. Things have escalated because Donald Trump has escalated things.
There is, of course, that war of words that's unfolding between California's governor and the president, with Trump saying that he wants Newsom arrested along with the protesters. So what is the feeling about the politics behind this?
Well, I mean, the state of California is suing the Trump administration for this. You know, it's been 60 years since a president has called in the National Guard, overriding what the actual state wants to happen. So, you know, there's an incredible pushback. And I think, you know, we all know that Trump says things off the top of his head when he's rambling on about arresting Newsom. I don't know how authentic that is exactly. But generally, the feeling in California is, from protesters and from the local body politics here, is we don't need any of this. Like, things were stressful but okay, and you were just escalating everything to a point where, you know, cars are being set on fire downtown, violence is increasing because it's being the show of force is being shoved in people's faces for no good reason.
Okay, we'll leave it there. David Farrier from Los Angeles, thanks for your thoughts on this.